This is Group 8's presentation over software testing, and more specifically over SakuliX. To start off, we just wanted to talk about what is software testing at a base level. This is an important thing to understand if we are to understand what SakuliX is and the differences between white box testing and black box testing. And so, software testing is at its core verifying and validating systems. It is asking the questions are like, am I implementing this the correct way? But also, is this implementation working? This is checking for bugs and errors, checking if software meets requirements accurately and effectively, checking software efficiency. Software testing aims to find faults, but also to improve the software overall. This is never a last-ditch effort at making sure everything's correct, but it's also used along the way in programming and developing software to make sure that everything we are doing is done the correct way and the best way to efficiently and effectively implement our problem and solution. And so two types of software testing and two techniques specifically are white box testing and black box testing. White box testing is basically done at more of a developer level, where the internal structure is known, code implementation is needed for them to white box test it. It is more of an internal testing that's over um, structural functions of the software and program. But black box testing is where internal structure is not needed to test it, where code implementation is not known, where black box testing is mainly done by software testers as an external testing and functional testing. White box testing, no programming knowledge is really needed to, or excuse me, white box testing, programming knowledge is needed, but it's more a lower level testing that is more time consuming. Sometimes it is called clear box testing, and through white box testing, the functions and the software is completely tested, unlike black box testing. Black box testing having few advantages in the fact that you do not need much knowledge over software and programming. It is a very high level testing that is not very time consuming, which is also sometimes called closed box testing. It is also just trial and error testing. And so, just to reiterate what black box testing is, and just to hopefully fully explain it, black box testing is, like you can see in this picture, having a black box over the software that shows that you do not know what is inside, that you do not know how the software and program is running, but you do know the inputs and the outputs. You know the inputs and what their actual outputs are. You know the inputs and what their expected outputs are. And black box testing is comparing these two, comparing the actual and the expected outputs that the software and programming puts out, and making sure that these two are accurate and just designed and developed in the most accurate and efficient way.
Okay, this is Mark here now, and I'm going to be explaining the background of SakuliX, and then I'm going to give a website demonstration on this program. So here we go. This is the first slide on my part. What is SakuliX? And so the word Sakuli, like the red part of it, it means God's eye in Huchul Indian culture. So this is the power to see and understand things unknown, which kind of makes sense for it to be like that's the program name of it. And so this is a program that it can automate anything that you can see like on your screen. So like on the monitor pretty much. And it's only available on Windows, Mac, or Linux and Unix software or on operating systems. And it contains image recognition AI, which is built into it to allow it to identify different elements in the GUI. And it's very useful when there isn't availability to source code or the GUI's internals on the application or website you are testing it on, since this is a black box testing program. It's actually a very good one. SakuliX as a program comes with basic text recognition, which is known as OCR, or optical character recognition. And so you can use the OCR to search text in different images. And it's a very useful feature that comes a part of Tesseract, which is another program that's built into this. SakuliX has the ability to use the mouse and keyboard to interact with different elements that are identified in the GUI or in the GUI. I'm just going to be saying GUI for the heck of it. SakuliX uses Python as the primary scripting language because it's supported by the Sakuli IDE. And so this is an important one. It can use other ones too, but Python is the primary one. So if we go to the next slide, what languages does Sakuli support? It supports 3 languages. It supports Python 2.7, Ruby 1.9, Ruby 2.0, and JavaScript. And it can also do text-based files, by the way. And so what devices can I use SakuliX on? And so currently, and as of right now, and I don't think it's going to change since SakuliX has been out for a long time, you can only use it on Windows, Mac, or Linux and Unix, so only like a desktop or a laptop pretty much. And it's not available on mobile devices. I've heard there's an Android like tester, so you can get around it that way. But if you wanted to use for it to be on iOS, or if you didn't want to use the Android tester, you could use emulators if you want to do it on mobile devices. So like you could probably just download those on your computer on some website or something, and then you could just do it that way. And so if you need help with Sakuli, or you don't understand it, there's a really big website right here. I'll show you in a second, which the developers answer questions and a lot of users as well, and they report bugs constantly, and like it's really cool. And so this website is really helpful because it gets updated all the time, and there's a lot of people that want to help you out. So let me okay, I'm still recording. And so we're going to go to this website. And so here you can see like overview, code, bugs, blueprint. I'm pretty sure like the translation page is empty. Yeah. And then the blueprint really too. But overall, you can see it's pretty nice. I never heard of Launchpad before, but it's I just assume they'd have it for other programs as well. And so you can see like drivers, like downloads, like all these like latest bugs reported, which is probably very helpful. And these are very critical, I guess. And so, and then here's questions, frequently asked questions. And then these are people who just like done good job. But yeah, if you need help with the software at all, personally learning it, this website has helped me a lot. But it'll take you to the home page, which this is where you hear about Sakuli, or this is where we first heard about it. Because if you look it up, this is the first page that pops up. If you want to donate to them, it's right here too. And then there's like drivers. Oh, this is their team. But yeah, this is a really cool website that you should definitely check out if you want to experiment with this program in the future. And so, next slide. All right, how did SakuliX start? So this was developed by the Sakuli Lab team at the University of Colorado Boulder, and this was located in Boulder, CO. And then the Sakuli and the SakuliX software, because this was the predecessor, were released under the MIT license. So, yeah. So why should we use SakuliX? SakuliX allows us to take screenshots of any elements in the GUI. So like if there's for example, I could take a screenshot of any of this thing, anything on this Google Slides page, like the slides like picture, for example, here. And then so I could execute a script once it sees this thing. So it's pretty cool in that way. And it has really nice image recognition AI. And it'll like, so if you tell it to look for like this little thing in the top left, for example, like the little slides home icon, it'll keep looking for that, and then it'll perform the actions afterwards once it sees it. And so, what makes it different from a lot of other black box testing tools and makes it one of the better ones, in my opinion, is its ability to use AI image recognition to perform actions. And so, that's very helpful.
And now I'll show you how to download the SakuliX program. And so this is the page that you will have to download it from. But if you do not have this hot link, I will show you how to get there from using Google. Go to Google and type in SakuliX. Click on the first link, Rayman's SakuliX. And from here you can navigate and scroll down to how can I get SakuliX. And then we will click on SakuliX's Launchpad page, which is the same page as I had over here. And from this page, you can see all the different download files for SakuliX on a whole bunch of different operating systems as Windows, Mac OS, Linux, and then a basic one for all systems. And this is the one that I'm going to download. So I'm going to click this first file. And then once this is done downloading, I will open the file. And this download is very simple. There's really nothing much you have to do to set it up. It is already downloaded from here. To give you a basic overview, you have uh, your ribbon of the different tabs that you can look at to do different things: file, edit, run, view, tools, and help. Um, and from here, this is you'll see this in a second, but this is how you take screenshots of your computer. Uh, like I can do this, and then that would be a screenshot, or I can insert an image, take a region, location, or offset. But I'll fully explain that in 1 second. And now I'm going to use SakuliX to demonstrate how to open and use a calculator and how to use it to calculate some math problems. And so I'm going to navigate over to SakuliX. And if I needed to open something new, I would go over here and click New. And so just to show you what the program that we're about to, the script that we're about to write is supposed to do, I'm just going to go through and do it myself. And so we're going to want to write this script to go through and open up the calculator. And then let's do 7 times 6 equals 42. Let's divide that by 3. And then let's go ahead and square that. Get 196. And then let's divide it by 12. Why not? Cool. And then exit out of that. And so now on Sakuli, we're going to do that same exact thing. And this might seem complicated, but we're going to dive into it, and it's really not all that bad. And so I'm going to go ahead and we're just going to use the click function, and we're going to go ahead and click take screenshot. And then drag and drop it over the search bar. And then this will click the search bar for us. And so as you see, when we click the search bar, there's that like pretty much 1 second, if that, of wait time for it to load. And so we just want to put a wait function to make sure that it opens fully before we start trying to do anything else. And then next, we're just going to want it to go ahead and type calc. And so what that would be is clicking that, waiting, and then typing calc. And then we go ahead and hit enter. And so we want it to do the same thing, and I believe it is key dot enter. And then from there, we're going to go ahead and we're going to want to click again, but let's get that calculator open for us. All right, then we go ahead and make it take a screenshot, and we want it to take 7. And then we want it to click on multiply. and then we want it to click on 6. And then we need to click on equals. And then go back on and make it click divided by. Then we can divide it by 3. And then hit equals again. And then let's go ahead and make it square it. And then why not make it just multiply or divide again, like we said. Let's have it divided by, let's go ahead and hit 3. And then finally, let's go ahead and make it go in and click enter for us. And then from here, let's just look it over real quick and make sure all the syntax and whatnot is correct. Looks correct to me. And then we go through and hit this run tab and then hit run, or you can also hit Control R as it says there. Let's name this calc test and then watch it do its work. Gonna go and type calculator, hit enter, boom, boom, boom. Perfect. That is what we wanted it to do. Let's go ahead and have it wait for 5 seconds just so we can see the number afterwards. Perfect. Let's change that to 3, and then I also want to make it go in and click the exit button so I don't have to close them all myself every time. So that might not work. Let's try this, but since it looked like I was hovering over the button, it won't pop up as a recognizable signal, I don't think. So let's just do that just to show how that would what would happen if that was the case. Yeah, so it just did not click that. So let's go back in and make it so I'm not hovering it over, and then it should work like that though. Let's check it out. Perfect. Like we just saw, that did exactly what we wanted it to. And since we were able to make that calculator so easily, I just want to take a second to show a different type of test and different computer application. Um, and so I'm going to try to automate a game of solitaire. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, as writing it to fully automate an entire game would be pretty tricky and difficult, but I just am going to take a second to hopefully make it open solitaire and be able to click on all the aces to start off, just get all the aces off the board as the first step to really playing solitaire. And so we're just going to go ahead and start by opening up the search button. Let me minimize this so not in the way. Opening up the search button, and then once again, going to wait for a second. And then we're going to have it type solid there, and then key dot enter. And then from here, solitaire will be open. It normally takes a second to open. And so we're going to have it wait. Go ahead and say 8 seconds. And then we're going to want it to click on this simple game of solitaire. I'm going to retake that because it looked like I was hovering over it. Let's try that again. One more time. Let's go on and make it start off where it's not on me hovering it. And then go take screenshot. And then boom. And then we're going to have it wait another second. But at that point, it should be have the game opened. So from here, let's reset. But luckily we have one ace on here, and we're gonna do find all and take a screenshot of this ace, and then we're gonna have it click the same ace. And now let's just close that and see what it does. And sweet. Looks like this application of solitaire doesn't get you a new game every time that you click on it. So let's go ahead and try to figure a way to do that. Okay. So it looks like it doesn't automate it every time, but that's okay. We'll just have to, let's just take a screenshot of this ace too. So let's hit new game, and then I will run this, see what happens. Sweet. And so what it looks like is that it does it for two of the aces. And so obviously I'm not going to go through and code this entire thing for more than just these two cards, but I think we can appreciate this for just an understanding of what this computer software testing could do. How I could, if I really wanted to, go spend all my time and make this probably play an entire game of blackjack for me. To be able to automate it to do that would be a really cool thing to see. I'm not going to do it for the purpose of this lecture and this video, but I hope you guys can just see that and see how useful of a tool this could be. But yeah.
So now we're going to go into our website implementation of SakuliX. So this is just what I wrote out previously, like me testing it, and then I am going to be coding this, and then I will explain it, and it should all make sense. Okay, so I'm back. I'm re-recording, and now we are moving on to the website implementation of SakuliX. So for this example, I'm going to be using Reddit, right? And so I'm going to show you exactly what I'm going to have this do. So I made a Reddit account previously because you have to like there's like bot protection, and it wouldn't work with this, right? Or I don't think it would, at least. And so I made this the username and this the password already. So we're going to go into reddit.com. And then this is the account I created, CSC Group 8, but I'm going to sign out of this. And so we're going to go to reddit.com, get to this page right here, and then we're going to have SakuliX automatically click login for us, type CSC Group _8 and Group 8 password, login, and get it to this page. And the reason we are not creating an account instead is because if you create an account, like let's type an email or whatever, and then if we put really anything, this I'm not a robot thing, I don't really know how I'd get around this with Sakuli, because you can't really run a script on this, and that's the point of this. So yeah, so we're just going to be logging into it. So I'm going to be using this, which I previously implemented to help me out here. But for starters, we're gonna go to a blank, like I prefer incognito, but just a blank tab. And I'm gonna leave this here so I can remember the login, the password I made. So we're gonna go to a blank tab, and we want it to type something in the search bar. So how we're gonna do that is we're going to make it scan for this search Google or type in a URL. So I'm gonna be like clicked off the search bar, so I don't have this precursor here. So I'm going to click off of this, and then I'm going to run, let me run Sakuli. Okay, that was just, I was just typing it in wrong, but we're going to run SakuliX like this, right? And then, so once this runs up, once this loads up, this is what I previously did to test it out, but we're going to make a new file, and we're going to implement the same thing. So we want it to scan for the search Google or type a URL, right? So in order to scan this, we have to take a screenshot, right? So instead of just taking a normal screenshot, SakuliX has this really nice thing where it says take screenshot in the program. So I'm gonna take a screenshot, and then it's gonna give me my cursor. So I'm gonna take a screenshot of this entire thing right here, where from the left arrow all the way to the URL. And so what this is gonna do is it puts it right in here, right? But actually, we don't just want this screenshot here. We want to write something before it, so we can type. For this one example, we can do find, but I'm gonna do click, so we don't have to do two commands. So I'm gonna put find and the parenthesis, and then I have to make sure I put the other parenthesis on the other side of the image. That is something that I forgot to do at first, and I was very confused why it wasn't running. But that's just a simple fix, right? So after we find it, then we're going to want to type in a website, right? So you could do any website for this, but we are going to do Reddit because that is the website implementation that I chose, and I just picked a random one. It could be anything, to be honest with you. So we're going to type, and then we're going to do a single quotation, and then let's get the link for Reddit. So like with the HTTPS, so let's get reddit.com. And then I'm going to copy this, so I'll have the HTTPS. And then I'm going to paste this here. And then I'm going to do plus, because this is like Python. I'm going to do key.enter. And then I'm going to end my bracket. And so if we run this right now, it should. Oh, I have to save this first. Hold up. Wait. Save. SakuliX2. Oh, I'm going to do click instead of find. That's what I meant to do. So then we can run this, and it's going to find, see, it brought my cursor from wherever it was to right here, right where the X is, in the middle, the very middle. And if we can change, I'll show you how, if you want to change it, and then it clicked. So if you want to change that, this matching preview pretty much shows me that I have it's scanning this screenshot on this page right now, so it's noticing that it appears in two places, here and on the page. And then if I want to do target offset, I can change where it's going to click at, or where it's going to move the cursor to, right? So I can like make it higher, or this is going to do right and left, the X, but the Y is going to do higher or lower. So for example, if I did like -200, you're going to see that it now is all the way up here, but it wouldn't be clicking on the screen. So since we did it in a good spot, since we took a good screenshot, I'm going to just leave it at 0, 0. Oops. And then I'm going to click OK to confirm that. And so we have it clicking. Oh, wait. We have it clicking, but we didn't have it typing Reddit. And so let me run this again and see what the issue is. Could it be this? Oh, it's because I was already clicked onto it, so I didn't have that there. And then I'm going to run. It scans it. And okay, let me see if this one's working now. Wait, I have to. Okay, it is. Hold up. So what am I doing wrong? Oh, okay. So I did key in all capitals, but you don't want all capitals. That is my fault. So if I do key.enter, now it should work, because this is the command. So I just typed the command in wrong. So we need to get rid of this. Go to this. It sees it, reddit.com, and it takes us to Reddit. And so this is good. This is a good first step. So after this, what do we want to do? We want to log in. So we're going to take another screenshot of the login, or this is how I did it. And so you could either do, oh wait, I don't want this on the same line. So see, we could, so actually before that, we want to make sure the page loads before we do this. So I did a wait command on this one. And so the wait command is going to wait till it sees this Reddit icon. And so once we see the Reddit icon, we know the page is loaded and that this login is going to be available. But like if it's loading Reddit still, obviously it's going to be an issue because it won't see the login thing. So I'm not sure if this is necessary, but we can do wait. And then I'm going to take a screenshot of the Reddit logo. All right, and then I gotta remember my parenthesis on the other side. So now it should wait until it sees that. That's what the script is gonna do. And then now we can do find, or we could do click. I prefer not to do two things, so I like click. So we're gonna do click, and then I'm gonna take a screenshot of login. So now once it's loaded the Reddit icon and it sees it, it's going to click on the login icon, right? And then get our bracket on the other side. Remember? And then, so once we hit this, what's it do? So this is a different screen than I had originally. So, okay. So yeah, this is a different screen than I had on my other script. So for example, on this one, the username and the password and the login were different for some reason, but we'll just do it with this one. So there's no issue. So we're going to, I'm going to use the wait feature again, because that took a second to pop up, right? And we want to make sure it's good. So I'm just going to put a wait feature on the login. So once it sees this login, it's going to, we can do click on username, right? So I'm going to take a screenshot of username, and we want to make sure that I don't click on the username beforehand, because you see how it kind of zooms out. We want to make sure that it's like the page before your mouse was hovering on it, because then it's not going to scan it because it's different, right? So we want to take screenshot, and then I will take a screenshot of username, right? Like the username thing. And let me type click parentheses, and then we're gonna type, and what was my login I created? So we're gonna do CSC group 8. Okay. It's the same thing as this top part, and then we're gonna do, or actually, I don't think we need the key. Key to enter. I don't know if it's necessary for this. I don't think it is, but it worked on the last one, so I'm just gonna implement on this one too. And so I'm gonna type click again, take screenshot, and then now we're gonna do the password. And so this is just automatically gonna enter the username and password for us. Parenthesis on the other side, type. And then we're gonna get our password that I created, which is group 8 password, right? Group 8 password plus key.enter. And then make sure this key is not in all caps because that's the mistake I made at the beginning, which messed us up. Okay. So from this, let's go to a blank page and let's see what it does. So, oops, wait. Let me just go to a blank Chrome tab. Make sure I'm clicked off of this so I can run it properly. And let's make sure we have no bugs so far. Okay, so it goes to reddit.com, it clicks enter, it clicks login. Oh, but this is our issue because this is what it did last time for me. So when it clicked login that time, it brought us to this page. And this is going to give us an error because I think the second time you open up Reddit, it brings you to this page instead of the one that pops up. So the login is different, the username is different, and the password is different. So now I'm going to replace these screenshots with the other ones. Like very quickly, don't worry. So we're gonna wait for this login because it's slightly different. And then we're gonna take a screenshot of username. I have to redo it because my mouse was on it. Username like this. And then I'm gonna take another screenshot of password. All right, and now we should be good. So let me run this again. And we're gonna click off of this, run. So it types in reddit.com, it clicks enter, it waits for the Reddit logo, and then it goes to login, and it's typing in CSC group 8. And here, I'm gonna retake the screenshot. I don't think it worked out properly. I don't know what happened with that. My mouse might have been on it when I was taking it. I'm not really sure. Okay. I'm gonna try one more time. So I'm gonna run it in slow motion this time. Oh, so this actually tells us exactly what it's going to do. It's like thought process behind it. So it's gonna go to the login tab now. Dude, no way it does it this way. Here, let me just refresh Reddit until it does the other way again. Like, that's so weird. Reddit.com. Okay, is it gonna keep doing it this way now? All right, I'm gonna replace them once again. So we're gonna take a screenshot. I mean, I guess this is good practice. So we're gonna take a screenshot of the login. And this is not in the right one. Hold up. Okay, we're gonna take a screenshot of the login. Then we're gonna go to the first click, take a screenshot of, to make sure the username is, my mouse is not on it beforehand. Take a screenshot of username. And then we go here. Take a screenshot of password. And if for some reason it switches on us again, I'm just going to use my other script, but finish implementing it on this one. And so it should make sense as well. Oh, that's not in the right spot. Can I cut this? Okay, hold on, I don't know why it's not letting me. Take a screenshot. Password. Okay. So now, hopefully, If I open this in a new tab and I start our thing, we get reddit.com. It sees the Reddit logo. It clicks login. Okay, I think the screenshot is just messed up, so I'm just going to keep coding it, okay? So after we type our thing in, we should see CSE group _8, and then we should have group 8 password. This is what we're at right now. So we need it to click login. So we're going to do another screenshot on login, right? Because that is what we need. Or actually, enter might work too, but let's just do it this way. So what did I do on this one? Oh, I did that too. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why Reddit is it probably wasn't the best, honestly, thing to implement. But almost every site had the AI robot detection thing, so I just needed to make an account on the site first. So let's do click, and let's run this. And after that, it should click login for us. And then once we're logged in, I have it click hot just because that's what I wanted it to return. So I'll just do that as well. So we're going to go to click again, and then we are going to take a screenshot, and we could do hot. I'm actually going to show you something else on this one. So if I replace the username, let me do that real quick because it should. I want to show you it actually working, and something cool we can do with it. Oh, that's my screenshot software. Oops. Take a screenshot. Username. Okay. Now does this run? Let's see. Run. Reddit.com. Okay. Yeah, honestly, I think it's an issue with the screenshot or like why it's not working, but I'll show you what we could do. So if we sign into back into our account, right? And let's take like a bigger screenshot, not just hot, right? So let's say you don't actually want to click hot, but you have a lot bigger screenshot. What we could do, or maybe let's say you do want to click hot, but we have like a really big screenshot, and so obviously this isn't going to click hot, right? What we can do here is we can go to our target offset. Okay, so if we wanted a bigger screenshot, like what I was saying, and like let's say it's on all of these, I'm not going to do a bigger screenshot because it won't load, but this is going to click in the middle. So it's going to click right here onto new. But let's say we don't want it on new. Like let's say we want it on top instead. So what are we going to do if we want it on top? We can change these X values and we can have it click somewhere else. So maybe like 150. Nope. Less. 120. Okay, so it would be theoretically clicking on top now. And when we ran it, it would click this instead of hot. And so it's not working because of this username screenshot. It doesn't like it. I don't know why. I didn't have this issue on this one, but as you can see, it's very much alike. And this one ran perfectly. I don't know why there's a error on it. But they're essentially the exact same script. And so this should theoretically work. I think just the username is giving an issue. I honestly don't know why, but I haven't had this issue previously. So if this makes sense to you, you should be able to just make a basic script in SakuliX And yeah, I hope that helped.
So now we have shown some background about the SakuliX testing tool, as well as some basic instructions on how to use it and some basic tutorials. Now we'll discuss some software testing uses for SakuliX. As previously discussed, SakuliX is used for a black box testing of GUI and web applications, um, as well as being able to be used to automate the process of testing an application rather than having to do so manually. Automated versus manual software testing. When manually testing a application or a piece of software, it is required for a person to be sitting in front of the computer, manually performing each and every testing task. This can be a very tedious and time-consuming process. SakuliX can be used to automate this process, making it much faster, more consistent, and reliable. Some of the benefits of using SakuliX to automate the testing process are that it can be much less time consuming than manual testing, as you don't have to have individual people sitting in front of the computer manually conducting each testing task. It allows very repetitive tasks, such as regression testing, to be done much more quickly and consistently. Um, as well as it is much more thorough than manual testing, as you can directly state to the SakuliX script which testing task you want it to do and how many iterations you would like it to do. Less error prone due to no possibility of human errors. It's essentially removing the entire source of human error from the testing process and making it much more consistent. Um, SakuliX works very well with Flash objects, which is superior to a lot of the other automated testing tools present. Um, it contains support for multiple scripting and programming languages, which is very helpful as it can be applied to a variety of different projects and applications. SakuliX is very effective at testing the overall behavior of an application, and it is often used in conjunction with Selenium WebDriver to enhance its functions. Some of the drawbacks of using automated testing with SakuliX. SakuliX is an open source automation testing tool, which in some situations can be good. However, compared to some of the paid tools, um, if you run into any sort of issues or anything, like you're likely going to have to fix them yourself, which can be very time consuming and difficult to troubleshoot. SakuliX's use of image recognition to perform tasks is not perfect, and say if you encounter two images on the screen that are extremely similar, this SakuliX script may not know which one is the correct one and may often choose the incorrect one. This can also cause issues if there's any slight variation in the resolution of the image of the screenshot that you gave versus the resolution of the actual image in the application. Another issue with SakuliX's use of image recognition is the amount of screenshots that it is required to take in order to create a SakuliX script. This can introduce a lot of overhead in taking many screenshots and then ensuring that they're all correct. As well as if you miss even a single screenshot within a SakuliX script, it can cause the entire thing to fail. SakuliX cannot be run on the back end as it needs visual screenshots to perform a script. So you're only going to be able to run it on the front end of a GUI application or a web application. As I mentioned earlier, any slight changes in the text on the screen or in an image will cause the SakuliX script to fail. Adding a SakuliX script to a project. So the first step will be to download SakuliX, as we demonstrated earlier in the presentation. This can be done by simply going to the SakuliX website and clicking on the latest stable version. This will then download the SakuliX IDE for you to use. The next step of adding a SakuliX script to a project will be to first create that SakuliX script. To do this, you'll just want to open the SakuliX IDE, File, New. As you can see, I've created a new script here. There's nothing in it, but you can say click, and then I don't know, maybe we want it to open up documents. So you can use the take a screenshot function. Screenshot, include it there, tell it to click that. And for this example, I'll just leave it at one click command. Next, we will want to save this SakuliX script as a jar file. You can do this by File, and then scroll down until you find Export as jar. Please save before. Make sure you save the script. Save as, we'll call it script. And save to downloads. And then we will, again, File, scroll down to Export as jar. As you can see, that has been saved. Okay, from there, we will want to open your desired project in Eclipse. So we'll open up Eclipse, and say I have a test Java project right here. We'll go ahead and select that. After you have your desired project open in Eclipse, the next step will be to add that SakuliX script to this project. To do that, you'll right click on the project, and you're going to want to search for here, build path. Scroll over on build path and click configure build path. Select this. From here, you'll want to select libraries, and then you'll see a bunch of options on the right for which libraries you'd like to add. You'll want to select add external jars. Select this, and then you'll see that script, the Sakuli script that we have saved just a moment earlier, will be right here. Double click that, and you'll see that it has been added to the libraries for your Java project. From here we can apply that, apply and close, and then yes, you'll see now you have reference libraries and there's your Sakuli script present. So yeah, here's some step-by-step instructions of how you would want to do the steps that I just ran us through. And then yeah, you've successfully added a SakuliX script to a Java project. SakuliX integration with Selenium. So SakuliX by itself is commonly added to or integrated with something called Selenium WebDriver, which is another separate tool for uh, automated testing of web applications. However, when used together, they work together to extend each other's functions. An example of this is that SakuliX has no built-in function to open an application. So in order to perform testing on this application, it must be opened manually. This introduces further overhead, which we would like to get rid of. Selenium does in fact contain a function to open a web browser to a specific web application or website. And integrating the two, we can remove this overhead from SakuliX of having to manually open the application to then have the script run on it. So when integrated together, Selenium will open the application, which we are then able to run SakuliX testing scripts on. A little bit of a comparison between SakuliX and Selenium. Selenium does not support Flash objects, whereas SakuliX has very extensive support for Flash objects. Selenium can only automate web apps, whereas SakuliX can automate web or Windows apps. The Selenium API is very complex and can be hard to work with, whereas the SakuliX API is relatively simple. Selenium does not use any sort of image recognition, where SakuliX does. So a Selenium download tutorial. For that, you will want to go to the Selenium website, as shown here, where you'll then want to choose, in this case I'll be choosing the Java version, so click there on the Selenium download for Java, wait for that to download, and open that up. You'll see that that has downloaded a selenium-java-4.8.1 zip file. You'll want to extract this to get its contents. Extract all, extract. As you can see, you've now downloaded various jar files that come from the Selenium zip file, and then you have downloaded Selenium. Now I will show you how to successfully integrate SakuliX and Selenium into a project. For this, we'll be going back into Eclipse, where we are going to create a new Java project. So you'll do File, New, Java Project. Here we'll give us a name, say test1. Sure all your settings are right, and then click Next. Similarly to when we were adding our SakuliX script to our previous Java project, we're going to want to navigate to the Libraries section, and then add external jars once again. Here you'll want to find the folder you extracted from the zip file, open that up, and you will want to include all of the Selenium jar files. Open. And then before you finish, you will also want to add whatever SakuliX testing script that you would like to add as well. So we'll go add external jars one more time. And we'll go find our original Sakuli script that we created a little bit ago. Double click, and you can see that that is now added as well. and finish. Now we have the test1 Java project with all of our reference libraries there, all of the Selenium jars, as well as our SakuliX jar file that is our testing script. Now that you've been instructed on how to integrate SakuliX and Selenium together within a project, now we'll discuss why you would want to integrate SakuliX and Selenium. Selenium is a very widely used and supported tool for the automation of software testing. However, certain functionalities are not present within Selenium. One of these functionalities being the identification of flash objects. Many websites or web applications that you may want to do testing on might include video elements, and Flash Player is used to preview these elements. If you were using only Selenium, you would not be able to automate the testing of these kinds of websites because Selenium is unable to identify Flash-based objects. And then SakuliX is unable to open applications on its own, but Selenium is able to. So therefore, the use of them together, with SakuliX you being able to use its image recognition to identify Flash Player elements, as well as Selenium's ability to open web applications on its own, make these two a much more powerful tool when used in conjunction. Finally, our conclusion. SakuliX is a very effective tool for the automation of black box testing of a GUI or web application. SakuliX is supported on a variety of platforms, as well as for a variety of programming and scripting languages, making it a very versatile tool and applicable to many different types of projects. The automation of the testing process is a very effective method for saving time on the testing of an application, as well as reducing the amount of possible errors that could come up throughout the testing process. And finally, SakuliX can be integrated with the Selenium WebDriver to greatly enhance the functionality of both of the two.